Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Anachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjai Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjai Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjai Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunjai Bihari Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Okay, I've been asked to do this Zoom program. I have no idea how it's going to go, but we'll do our best. Thank you for joining us. My name is Titiksava Karunika Dasa, and I'm going to give the class and some music at the end. So if you stay tuned, you'll hear me do a couple of songs. But the topic for this evening is gratitude. Why? It's Thanksgiving weekend, so it makes sense, right? So we should always be grateful for everything. But I kind of wanted to take it a little bit differently in that it's easy to be grateful when good things are happening. And sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to be grateful for the seemingly bad things that happen. But Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Sparshasta Kuntaya Shitosna Sukha Dukkada. He says we have to tolerate the heat, the cold, the happiness, and the distress. So that always kind of puzzled me. How do you tolerate happiness? You know, you tolerate distress. That's a given. But what does it mean when you tolerate happiness? So to be grateful in both happiness and distress, it's kind of a trick. It's a good trick. I remember seeing a lecture, and it was said that if you look at your thumbs, are you grateful for your thumbs? I say yes, everybody's grateful for your thumbs. So it's nice, you got 2 thumbs. So they're worth a lot. So you might ask, okay, well, how much? Is it worth 1,000? If I gave you $1,000 to chop off one of your thumbs and give it to me, would you do it? Would you do it for, $500,000? How about $1 million? Would you give me one of your thumbs for $1 million? So if you think about it, if you would say, no, I want to keep my thumbs. Then you got $2 million right at the end of your arms, not to mention the other fingers. So that's something to be grateful for. We have no doubt. I mean, just the fact that we have this material body and we're still breathing and life is still going on, that's certainly something to be grateful for. So we always want to remain grateful in any condition, because gratefulness is the key to bhakti, actually, and it's the symptom and the basis of humility. So it's a symptom of bhakti to be grateful. It's a symptom of humility to be grateful, and always grateful. Sometimes we hear about fair weather devotees. As long as there's nice prasadam and everything's going well, the money is coming in, the books are going out, then everybody's very grateful and very, very happy. But the thing is that Krishna tests us, and the tests will come, undoubtedly. So just like when you go to school, as you advance in the years in school, you know, when you go to kindergarten, 2 + 2 = 4. You know, like you get the very, very basic stuff. This color is green. What color is that block? You know, okay, you got it. But when you get advanced in school, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th, they don't ask you the same questions. They come up with new questions. And pretty soon you're in high school and, you know, you're studying trigonometry and, you know, advanced calculus and, you know, different types of things, science and biological mixtures and formulas and all. It's not the same, you know, it's different. It's much more difficult. So when you get a test in high school, guess what? It's harder. And when you go to college and postgraduate, the tests become more and more and more difficult. So life is like that. And the path of bhakti is also like that. Any type of learning system, as you advance, the tests become more difficult. It's a given. So we have to be ready for that and not be thinking that, you know, hey, well, I passed the 2 + 2 = 4 thing. I'm done. You know, I'm good. Leave me alone. Because if we want to make advancement, we have to keep learning and we have to keep being tested as proof to not only Krishna, but to ourselves that we actually are advancing. So to be grateful for the tests, to be grateful for the results of the tests, everything, you know, that's a good trick. So we want to be grateful in all situations. And the way to express our gratitude for being in this path of bhakti, bhakti means service. So the way to express our gratitude is to always remain in that service attitude. And this selfless seva is our way of saying thank you to all the previous acharyas, especially Srila Prabhupada and to Krishna. But when we have this attitude of gratefulness to all the acharyas, just think of what the sacrifices that, well, we all know, heard the stories of Srila Prabhupada, how he came across the ocean and had these heart attacks. And, you know, he went through so much. Why? He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to come all that way. Why? He was happy in Vrindavan, sitting there chanting japa and doing his sadhana. But he was grateful to his spiritual master for helping him. And his spiritual master requested him to go to the West and preach to the English-speaking people. And despite the fact that it was a huge sacrifice, because he was grateful, he did it. He came, and he didn't really expect to be as successful as he was. You know, when you read the poems and stuff, he didn't really know what to expect. He didn't know how it was going to work and how it was going to pan out. He didn't know. But he was just going on that attitude of gratefulness to his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, and coming with just this selfless service attitude. So when we see Srila Prabhupada's example, then we can understand, okay, this is gratitude. He's actually acting on it. You know, to say that you're grateful is nice, but real gratitude is shown with reciprocation by actually doing something. We need to do something to show our gratefulness. And then Krishna will see that he's actually grateful to this, and he'll give us advancement. We'll make it advancement on the path of bhakti. So when we advance more and more in the path of bhakti, then we show more and more respect for all the acharyas. We show more respect for Krishna. We actually understand Krishna more and more. Krishna, because he gives, this knowledge. You can't just ask for it and study and by academic, strength. The knowledge really has to come by the mercy of Krishna. Realization comes by the mercy of Krishna. It doesn't come because we're a great scholar or, study really hard and learn a bunch of shlokas. Parrots can learn shlokas. But, again, the example is there. The parrot is, chanting mantras, and everybody thinks, oh, my goodness, look at this parrot. He's so advanced. He knows so many mantras. But as soon as the cat comes in and starts to jump up at the parrot, he forgets all about the mantras and squawk, 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 fly away, help, help, And off he goes out the window. He doesn't remember any mantras. So the same thing will happen with us. We may claim, oh yeah, I'm knowing so many things and I know about bhakti and da 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 da. But eventually the test will come. And, unless you really got it together, you won't make it. And then it'll be revealed to you. Krishna already knows, of course. He's not testing it so he can see. He's testing us so we can see ourselves where we stand, right? Krishna doesn't need to test us to see. Oh, the teacher needs, in regular school, they need to see where the kids are at. But Krishna already knows. So why is he testing us? So he's testing us so we can see where we're at. So we can understand that, yeah, I'm not as advanced as I thought I was. I was chanting all these mantras and stuff, but when death came or when, some reverse came, all of a sudden I became all angry or, this is the result of attachment, right? So a sadhu is supposed to be detached. And we can say, oh yes, I'm totally detached. I don't need anything, But as soon as something is taken away, then all of a sudden we become angry. Or if we want something and we don't get it and we become frustrated, we can understand that, I'm not as, advanced as I thought I was. I'm not as advanced as I thought I was. So there's a nice story about Ramanuja Acharya. And it just came to my mind. I'll see if I can get the story right. But anyway, he had this disciple, and I've forgotten the name of the disciple, sorry. But he was a very wealthy disciple. And some of the Brahma, he was a householder, so he was living in a big house. He had a beautiful wife. He had money. He had, all kinds of opulences that the brahmacharis and stuff, they didn't have. And so the brahmacharis were a little bit disturbed when the spiritual master was paying so much attention to him. They were being disturbed. How come he's paying so much attention to this person? He's a householder. He's got all this money and wealth and beautiful wife. He's totally attached. And right, they were thinking like this. So they came and they complained to Ramanuja. So he was thinking, okay, right. So what he did was he went into their ashram in the night, and I think he stole their kopans. He took the kopans and hid them someplace. And then when they woke up, they were all upset. Of course, they didn't have anything, but they had their kopans, right? Their underwear. So somebody steals your underwear in the night, and then you become upset, and you start blaming, oh yeah, so-and-so took it, and no, so-and-so took it. So he was showing them that they're all upset about their underwear. Then they said, okay, well, yeah, well, then they wanted to see this one devotee. He wanted to show them something. So he said, just go over to this man's house. When he's here with me, you go there and you take the jewels from his house, while he's here with me. And then I want you to go get the money from him, the wealth, steal some jewels. So anyway, they thought, oh, that's a good idea. We'll be able to see how attached he is. So they went over to his house and they took, sort of stealing some of the gems and stuff from his house. And his wife was lying on the bed and she was sleeping, but she was only half asleep. So they went there and they were thinking, okay, well, let me take the jewels from her ear. So she was lying on her side. So they were taking this earring off and, trying to get the necklace while she was sleeping. But at the same time, she knew that, but she didn't want to say anything because she was thinking, oh dear, these poor brahmanas, they're suffering because they don't have any money. They must need the money. So let them go ahead and take it. So she wasn't, objecting. She was just letting them take it. So they came back with the jewels and the money. And then he called the disciples in, and he called this one devotee, and the rich devotee. The name will come to me eventually. And he wanted to show them. He said, he called in, I think the wife, anyway, he called in the husband and the brahmacharis, and then he was saying to them, oh, let's see what happened. These persons, they stole this. Oh no, wait a second, I take it back. So they wanted to watch him while he went back to the house. Okay, so he went back to the house, and then he was told by his wife that the brahmacharis or the brahmanas had come and were trying to steal the jewels, and that she was pretending to be asleep and that she was getting, the earrings taken off of this side, but she didn't want to move because she thought that it might scare them away. And then he became angry at her. And you know why? Because he was saying, look, you should have turned over. How are they going to get the earring on the other side if you didn't turn over? You should have turned over so they could have got the earring from the other side, So instead of being angry that they were stealing the jewels, he was angry at his wife because she didn't act in such a way that they could have taken more jewels. So when the brahmacharis saw this, they went back and they reported to Ramanuja about this incident. And then he could see, so just see. And when you got your Brahmin underwear stolen, you guys were all upset. And when this man had all of his jewels taken, he was actually thinking, why didn't they take more? And in this way, he was showing his disciples about this attitude of detachment. So the attitude of detachment, will be tested. And when it is, and when we're still grateful that we're being tested, and grateful that Krishna is helping us like this, then that's a sign of advancement. And it's not so easy. Sometimes we meet devotees and they've gone through incredible reverses, to lose a loved one, to lose their child, or come down with some sickness or something. And, we're just completely knocked over that, wow, how could Krishna do this to somebody? One of your devotees, how is it possible that you're doing this to somebody? And it's just really difficult to take. But also in the Mahabharata and Ramayana and stuff, we see that some of the heroes are killed. The son of Arjuna is killed. And how heavily he took it. And Krishna was saying, that you have to be able to tolerate this. Krishna was testing those great souls. So, we will also be tested. And of course, the time of death is the ultimate test. It's, this is the final exam for this lifetime. Along the way, you got pop quizzes, you got different things, but death is the final exam. And according to that exam, it's determined what school we're going to end up in our next life. If you want to completely get out of the school of, material life, then you've got to be able to think of Krishna, pray to Krishna, have this service attitude towards Krishna. Be grateful for everything that Krishna has done in your life. If you're thinking about, oh, why did this happen? How come that? How come I didn't get this? I should have got that. Then you're going to have to come back. We'll have to come back in another material body to try to fulfill those material desires. But when we have a complete sense of selflessness, then Krishna recognizes that, and then we're eligible. We're eligible for Krishna to bestow his mercy upon us, to have us come back to the spiritual world and engage eternally in the pastimes with him in the spiritual world. So that's what we're shooting for. That's what we want to do. We want to be able to be so selfless that Krishna is pleased with us, that we actually get to go back. But that selflessness means also that we're ready to not go back if that's what you want, Krishna. If you want me to come back again and again, you're like Lord Chaitanya is saying, birth after birth. I just want to chant your holy names, birth after birth. We're not even attached to getting free from the cycle of birth and death. Of course, that's, it's pretty high level of bhakti. But we should understand that that's what the great souls, the truly great souls, are willing to do. And if we can even just appreciate those great souls, if we can appreciate what they've done, what they're doing presently, because they're still acting. Srila Prabhupada is present right now, right here. Whenever we think of Prabhupada, Prabhupada is present. Right? My friend Punyatama always used to say, whenever you think of Prabhupada, he's there. He's there. So we have to have that faith. Prabhupada is with us. Krishna is with us. Krishna is within the heart of all living entities. So he's there. And he's witnessing everything that we're doing. And the tests are coming, and he's watching and seeing how we're doing. And when we're ready, he'll bring us back. He'll bring us back to the spiritual world, but we have to be ready for that. So to believe in Krishna is one thing. We believe in Krishna. You can believe anything you want, right? Believing is, if you believe that if I jump out of a building and, a 10-story building and they'll be able to fly, you can stand there and believe it as long as you like. But as soon as you jump out the window, your belief will be tested. Just because you believe it doesn't mean it's going to work. Similarly, we may believe in Krishna, we may believe in this, but believing isn't enough. You have to be able to act on it, and it has to be, true. It has to be real. Just because you believe something doesn't make you, an advanced person. But if you actually have true knowledge and you live by that knowledge, you act with that knowledge for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of the devotees, in a selfless attitude of service, then Krishna will recognize that, undoubtedly. And you know what? Krishna is grateful. Krishna doesn't need anything. Krishna has everything, right? Krishna has, millions upon millions of gopis, servants, What isn't Krishna's? What doesn't belong to Krishna? What doesn't he have? He has everything. So why does he need my service? He doesn't need my service. He doesn't. But he's grateful. He's grateful for our service. Krishna is so loving and kind that he actually appreciates the little smallest things that we do. And sometimes we give this, same example of the father sees the son and then he's in the kitchen and he's making a sandwich, and he's putting the butter on there and he's getting butter on the table, and then he gets the jam and it slips and, making a big mess. And the father knows he's going to have to clean up the mess. But when the child brings him that sandwich, he's thinking, oh, thank you very much. It's very nice of you. Thank you. He's really touched that the child wants to serve him. He appreciates it. He's grateful. So Krishna is like that. He's grateful for our service. He wants to see us serve him, not because he needs our service, but because he knows that when we serve selflessly, that we will actually be happy. I mean, everybody wants to be happy. Everybody knows. Everybody's searching for happiness. But this is the secret. The secret is selfless service to others and ultimately to Krishna. And we can show how grateful we are to Krishna when we serve others and serve him like that. So Prabhupada used to say that it doesn't take any big intelligence or material qualification to be grateful to Krishna, to serve Krishna, to recognize Krishna's greatness. Be grateful for the sun that's shining. Be grateful for the moon. Be grateful for the air. These are things that are there for everybody. Everybody can look up at the moon and say, that's a beautiful moon tonight. Krishna is so wonderful. He created this beautiful moon. Just look outside. It's a full moon, I think, tonight, not tomorrow. So we can all look at the moon, the sun, the stars, be grateful for the air. Or, at that one verse where Krishna says, I am the taste of water. So every man can drink a glass of water and be grateful and be thinking, oh, this is Krishna. Krishna is the taste of water. So when we just taste a drink, Prabhupada even said that the winos can be appreciative of Krishna by drinking wine. If they think of Krishna, because wine is in water, right? Or water is in wine. So if you drink a glass of wine and think of Krishna, then you could make advancement. Just be appreciative that Krishna is the taste of water. Just see how merciful Krishna is. In any condition, we can be grateful to Krishna. And in any condition, we can have a service attitude to Krishna. We don't need any material qualification. We don't need any, paraphernalia or just like that one sadhu, he was meditating, right? And he was thinking, oh, let me make some sweet rice. Let me make some sweet rice for Krishna. So he was meditating about cooking this, getting the rice, getting the milk, getting the sugar, putting it all together. He was just sitting on the, side of the road or wherever and thinking how to please Krishna in his mind. He didn't have the paraphernalia. He just was thinking in his mind. So then he was thinking in his mind and he wanted to touch the sweet rice to see if it had cooled down enough before he offered it to Krishna. And then he stuck his finger in the sweet rice and he actually burned his finger. And then Krishna was so pleased, Krishna was pleased with him. The mood of service was there. The devotion was there. Even he had nothing. He had nothing, but Krishna was satisfied. So this is how we can please Krishna. By this mood, this devotional mood, this selfless service. Of course, if we have something, then we should offer. Not that we offer in our mind, but we don't give anything. If you have it, if you don't have anything, okay. But if you do have it, then yeah, you should give it. We give kirtans or we give money to the temple or lectures or Sachimata was teaching some of our friends, actually they're friends of our kids, how to cook vegetarian food. So whatever we have, we give it. We do that for Krishna. So this is another important point, that we all have different propensities. We have different types of mentalities. It's not like everybody's service is going to be the same. So we offer whatever it is that we have. It doesn't matter what it is, but if we can help people through our service, whether you're a doctor or a lawyer, or you help with building something at the temple, or taking out the trash, whatever it is, cutting up fruits for the deities. It doesn't really matter what type of service you do. The main thing is that you serve according to your capacity. So in that light, there's another story about Hanuman. So Hanuman is a great devotee of Lord Ramchandra, as we know. And of course, he was building the big bridge, throwing these gigantic stones, throwing these huge stones out into the ocean to build this bridge. And then he sees, there's one small spider, and the spider is kicking in little grains of sand. And then, of course, Lord Ramchandra, he had to explain to Hanuman, look, his service isn't any less than your service, because he's serving according to his capacity. So we all have different capacities, we all have different strengths and so on. But if we serve according to our capacity, to our full capacity, as much as we can, then Krishna knows. They say that Krishna's not interested in what you give, but he sees what you're holding back, right? This is, it's a pretty good thing to understand. Because somebody who has lots of wealth and stuff, maybe he gives, a small portion of his wealth, and it's like thousands and thousands of dollars a week or a year, millions a year. I give, $2 million to the temple. But, he's keeping 10 million for himself for sense gratification, right? So the 2 million is like, not even, So the person who has nothing, he's offering love, pure devotion, everything. He's giving everything, his whole heart, his whole being to Krishna in service, in a service attitude. He's giving everything he has. So that person is considered to be more grateful than somebody who's giving, partially like that. So Prabhupada wants us to fully surrender. Sometimes you hear that, fully surrender to Krishna, fully surrender. So that means we have to give everything. Ultimately, we have to be able to give everything. Easy to say, right? Not so easy to do. But still, that's the goal. And if we keep that in mind and keep working towards that, then eventually we'll reach it. We'll get there. We have to have that hope against hope, right? A hope against hope that eventually we'll be successful at becoming purified. If we follow the process, sadhana bhakti, if we follow the process, we chant our rounds, we follow the regs, we try to do service to Krishna, we try to do selfless service to humanity and our God brothers and so on. We try to help people in Krishna consciousness to the best of our ability. And even though when we're tested, we can see that, oh gosh, I'm not advanced. I'm still horribly attached. We still have to, maintain that faith that eventually that we'll get purified and achieve the goal of pure bhakti, pure devotional service, unalloyed devotional service. That's what we're shooting for. So if we keep chanting and following the principles and always trying to serve Krishna, Krishna will see that we are grateful. This is how we can show our gratitude, by sticking with the program. Stick with the program. Prabhupada has made it pretty easy. Lord Chaitanya has given it on it can't be much easier compared to what was going on in the past. It's a piece of cake. You chant a few hours, you take prasadam, right? sometimes I like to think, the only way I'm going to get back to Godhead is being a prasadam bhakti. It's just the only thing I can still do is take prasadam. But at least that service I'm still interested in. So let me go for that. But yeah, you can become purified just by taking prasadam. Right? So this is the service. Taking prasadam. We can do so many things for Krishna. But just have this attitude that I want to continue to serve Krishna. I want to continue to please Krishna. And by associating with other devotees, it's important that we always associate with other devotees because they have that enthusiasm to serve Krishna always. And that enthusiasm is extremely important. And that enthusiasm is contagious, right? So now we want to be infected. Just go tell that around to your friends. I want to be infected. Really? Yeah, I want to be infected with bhakti. I want to be infected with, spirituality. And how do you get that infection? You associate with people that got it. And that means sadhu sangha. You associate with the sadhus. You associate with the saintly persons. And because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy in creating this society, international society for Krishna consciousness, we can associate with sadhus, with saintly persons. And now it's a little bit difficult, as we know, but we can associate through this technology. So I guess it's working. I don't know how many people are watching this. I have no idea. I'm just sitting here talking to a computer. I don't know if anybody's listening at all. But if you are listening, thank you very much. I'm very grateful that you're here. And I'm very grateful that you're a part of this society. I'm very grateful for Balaramji for asking me to speak. I certainly don't feel qualified, but I like it. It's fun. It's nice. It's enlivening. You think, oh, now I have a mission, If we have a mission, then, we gain some enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is everything. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for taking the time to check this out. Okay, so I'm not really known to be a great speaker or anything. I'm a guitar player, singer. So if you don't mind, I'll sing you a couple songs. And let's see if it goes well. I got my trusty guitar. Do you want? Let's check it out. It's over here. Okay, so you got that? You hear it? So this song is called Blessing in Disguise. So sometimes these, like I was saying earlier, we have these stumbling blocks. But the stumbling blocks...
It's working.
Thank you. The stumbling blocks should be seen as stepping stones. Falls apart and you don't know where to start, and all your friends tell you to go away and save your friendship for a rainy day. With sharpened words that cut you down to size, could be a blessing in disguise. When the sun fails to shine, black as night for all time, and all that's left to do is pray to God. Although it's foreign or it may seem odd, just a chance to open up your eyes. Well, it's a blessing. Don't you know that there's a master plan? And even though we may not understand, the Supreme Lord has the upper hand and wants us all to come back home again. There's no need to look far when we see who we are and everything that happens day to day is really meant to help us on our way. It's just a chance to open up our eyes. Well, it's a blessing. Could be a blessing. Yes, it's a blessing. And that's that one.
Sure, what's with the sound? The guitar sound doesn't sound so good.
Is it too loud or distorted?
Distorted.
It's too loud.
No, I don't know what it is.
Well, it's probably just overpowering the
Or maybe it's a
microphone. Maybe a little back, yeah. See how that works? So this one's called Attitude of Gratitude. Well, he was living in a little house, poorer than a church mouse, barely even paid the rent. The fenders on his bicycle were bent, but always had a sparkle in his eye. I guess it comes as no surprise that he would always chant the holy name, encouraged all he met to do the same. He had an attitude of gratitude, yeah, from longitude to latitude. He said there's nothing else that matters, dude, so keep an attitude of gratitude. Well, he worked for a man at Lloyd Bazaar, cleaning other people's yards. He had a rickshaw business on the side. He said it helped to curb his pride, taking pilgrims on a holy tour, from 7 temples door to door, knew the names of all the deities, the acharyas and their history. He had an attitude of gratitude, yeah, from longitude to latitude. He said there's nothing else that matters, dude, so keep an attitude of gratitude. Well, he was always quick to tell a joke, even quote a shlok, but he didn't really need a thing. Yeah, he was past the point of hankering. And even when the tables turned, when others they would crash and burn, he would still display humility, the finest soul you'll never see. He had an attitude of gratitude, yeah, from longitude to latitude. He said there's nothing else that matters, dude, so keep an attitude of gratitude.
It's a little better, but it's the Zoom.
Or technical difficulties. Hang on.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter.
Because you were talking about that.
See if I can remember how to play it. Doesn't really matter how much you make. Doesn't really matter what you drive. Doesn't really matter if your teeth are fake. Doesn't really matter if you're 50 or 5. But ask yourself, have I abounding love for everything and everyone, especially God above? Doesn't really matter if you couldn't fight. Doesn't really matter how quick you can run. Doesn't really matter if you're black or white. Doesn't really matter if you're looking for fun. But ask yourself, am I abounding love for everything and everyone, especially for God above? Why is it just to drag you down? It's an illusion. Don't be fooled. Yeah. Because it doesn't really matter. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I hope you're listening. I have no idea if anybody's out there. Okay, so let's do a little mantra-sizing. This is my Brazilian mantra. See if I can sing high enough to hit it today. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, mantrasizing. Yeah, that's always good. This next song is called The King and the Sweeper. I knew a king, he was ruler of the land. He ruled with heavy hands. He had palaces and a treasury full of gold. He never lost a fight, or so I'm told. When the citizens, they saw him, they became afraid. He was never known to keep the promises he made. He would call out, joy to all, but kept the taxes high. Everybody knew that what he said was just a lie. He called to his men and his ministers. He asked, is there not something more than this? I want to enjoy something more today. After all, I'm the king. You can make them pay. Oh, my dear king, can't you try just once to see? Happiness, it comes when we show humility. If you can see yourself as very small, just a part of all that be, all this hankering will surely cease to be. Humility isn't easy, still you know it's better to be a simple sweeper in the street than to pose yourself as a charlatan king. I knew a sweeper had a tear in his eye. He said, it's not for myself, but for others that I cry. They're working hard all day, forgetting life's real goal. They may gain the world, but they neglect their soul. So he swept the streets, keeping his heart clean, never forgetting the Lord above, not even in his dreams. He would stay at home at night, and to his God he prayed. Not only for himself, he wanted others to be saved. Humility isn't easy, still you know it's better to be like a simple sweeper in the street than to pose yourself as a charlatan king. Humility isn't easy, still you know it's better to be like a simple sweeper in the street than to pose yourself as a charlatan. Uh-huh.
And what's his name said if there's any questions, then he'll zoom in and tell you the question.
Okay. So apparently there's going to be questions. So if you got any questions, shoot, because that's the end of our show unless you got some questions. Thank you very much for listening. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity to do something.
I apologize for the scrubby sound with the music.
Oh, I don't know. Apparently the sound isn't the best, but sorry about that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your class. It was really nice. I mean, we have 14 people watching online. And I see there is no questions, there is some comments, I can tell you, from the
Okay.
YouTube. So I see the comments from Ilian Chester Official,
Javi.
Sadhu, and from Faneshwari Mataji, she said, yes, listening. Stumbling blocks should be seen as stepping stones. I like that. Love the song, Attitude of Gratitude.
Nice. Thank you so much. So I guess we're signing off. I don't know how to sign off, but
Say hi to her.
Yeah.
hi, Javi.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, see you guys later. Haribo, everybody. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Haribo!
Haribo.